So I took a chain, wrapped it around my legs. They're hairier than my other legs. Not my... black kids would touch them. Come on, man. Then I got on a train and moved to D.C. Barack Obama gave a job to me. I shuffled around and sucked fingertips. Made a big speech, kissed a boy on the lips. What are you looking at? I wrote the damn bill. I hold the ladies tight and sniff all their hairs. First person American to fall up the stairs. Ran for president, I was a winner. Winner was me. Now I sit at my desk as a president. Not you know the thing. Come on, get your face out of your ears.
Wow, how eerily accurate and also funny at the same time. Welcome back, beautiful and amazing human beings. This is Ukadowski of WeAreChange.org. Lots of news to get into today. David Hogg quit his pillow company. The CDC literally thinks you are an NPC. And some people passed away this weekend. We don't like to talk about that stuff, so we won't. As our main focus in this video will be the ever-rising totalitarian state that is hell-bent at eviscerating any criticism of it. You know, just the usual, topics that we usually discuss here on WeAreChange.org. But before we get into that, plus a lot more, in the beginning of this video, we played a small skit from Kyle Dunnigan, whose video was absolutely hilarious. He still doesn't have as many subscribers as he should, and that's why we're putting the full video that we started off this broadcast in the description down below. Definitely go check him out after the broadcast. Now, I think it's fair to say that things are definitely not what they seem, especially if you're watching the mainstream media, which absolutely obfuscates reality and truth in order to push propaganda, disinformation, and other psychological warfare tactics that are orchestrated by the ruling billionaire class. Like this perfect example of, some would say, toilet paper that's been used. Some would say journalism by CNN Politics that had an article about how the United States cannot withdraw from Afghanistan, cannot stop the war, the longest one in American history, that has siphoned away trillions of dollars from this country to the hands of the military-industrial complex, that has exploded poppy production 900%. This failed, pointless endeavor can't end because women rights. And you would think there would be an easier way to promote women's rights. But no, according to CNN, the best way to fight for women's rights is, of course, to fill the coffers of the military-industrial complex. Not to be outdone with their lunacy, we, of course, have another great hit from the Clown News Network that now says that Chinese-style fonts are racist. Yes, calligraphy now, quote, perpetrates problematic stereotypes. Also in this time, I think it's important to notify you that according to YouTube, Google, and Alphabet, CNN is an authoritative source that literally gets to do whatever they want on this platform, get fully monetized partner programs, special promotions, and even underhands independent media by, of course, rigging the system so they always show up in the next playing video, in the search results, which of course more and more screws over independent media, and that's why I wanted to make you aware of LukeUncensored.com, which is our own kind of unique way of trying to fight back against a lot of this unfairness by creating a product that you can't get anywhere else. This product is definitely not for the normies. If you want to find out more, click the link in the description below right now. In today's Luke Uncensored video, I will be going off about this particular topic and this topic, which of course we cannot discuss here on this platform. And if you're asking, oh Luke, also where can I get this amazing t-shirt that you're wearing right now with such a profound, important political message? Wow, that was oddly specific. Thank you for that question. You could also get this shirt and many others like it on thebestpoliticalshirts.com. The link is also in the description. Check them out because it's going to be entertaining just scrolling through all the craziness that we have available for you. Now, I don't know if you've been aware of this, but when it comes to personal liberties, civil rights, freedoms, I think it's very fair to say that there is a very concerted effort to try to erode and get rid of all of those things as we are speaking right now. Something, of course, that we've been warning about and talking about for a long time on this independent media broadcast. Something that, of course, is essentially important to the freedom of humanity. Something that actually matters. unlike all the other nonsense that the mainstream media feeds you. This is something that deserves to be talked about at length, debated, and protected at all costs, no matter what. And that's why seeing these latest developments and stories unfold, not just in the United States, but all over the world, is absolutely troubling, and it deserves our utmost attention. The first story that I have for you is of a California lefty podcaster that one day decided to lightly criticize Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez on her stance, or as some would say, no stance at all, on the Israel-Palestine issue. Ryan Wentz, the podcaster here, said that Ocasio's statements were, quote, incredibly underwhelming. In response to that, plainclothes police officers showed up to this man's house in California, interrogated him, tried to scare him, and kept repeating that he was threatening to end the existence of a sitting member of Congress, which of course he never did, but they kept insisting that he did. The vlogger says he felt, quote, scared, intimidated, and violated, which rightfully so, since of course all he did was criticize a congresswoman, and he has the police state at his door lying about what actually happened, threatening to put him in jail for something that he never did. Now, what was AOC's role here? We still don't know, but it's also important to point out here that Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez previously sent out emails asking her supporters to mass report and flag any posts that were critical of her. Yeah, she was literally sending out emails asking her followers to get engaged, not on an issue that actually mattered, but to mass report anyone trolling or criticizing her. Now, the situation in Canada also significantly ramping up, especially with the latest news that we're getting that 50 armed police officers decided to conduct a raid on an independent media organization, specifically Rebel News. Now, the latest that we're getting is that police officers have refused to show a warrant. Ezra Levant, who of course is very litigious, has already assembled a lawyer on site demanding to know what's going on here. One reporter was already arrested for a light shoving match that happened between the police officers. And the latest information we're getting is that Montreal police, who have been very aggressive on the scene, will start searching the Airbnb property that was rented by this media organization. Also in Canada, we are finding out that an anti-lockdown activist, Chris Sky, has been put on a no-fly list, allegedly for again, unknown circumstances, which many people contribute to, of course, his activism. Now, Chris Sky was scheduled to speak at a rally in Canada until an airline wouldn't let him fly, since they said he was on a no-fly list that is specifically meant to prevent terrorists from flying. Why is a protester, an advocate, an activist being put in this official program? Well, we don't have any official word from the Canadian government that since has not explained their actions, which left unexplained signal a very troubling development, which essentially will only get worse from here. Especially with the announcement that there will be more lockdown measures, more restrictions, some of them, in my opinion, utterly ridiculous, like the ones we're seeing in the United Kingdom, where the government is trying to mandate that if you are entering a bar, a pub in the United Kingdom, you will first have to register on a government tracking app by handing over your physical phone. Very similar medical passports, which of course other totalitarian states like China have already implemented. In France, the police are telling Airbnb hosts to report their customers if they violate any kind of lockdown rules, and as more lockdowns and restrictions are implemented, essentially fining almost every form of existence, only allowing the super rich to do whatever they want, we have to ask ourselves what's really going on here. Since, of course, historically, giving up essential liberties for a sense of security gives you neither. Now, while protests get squashed, activists get arrested, there are some individuals that I would say help push a certain narrative that are allowed to do what they want, protest when they want, with the adoration and cheering of the mainstream media, while obfuscating a lot of the violence and crime that actually does happen. As even just moments ago, Portland Federal Ice Building was set on fire, which for some reason the mainstream media is not stoking any kind of insurrection fears about. So yeah, as that happens, organizations and activists that promote these larger messages, of course, get a lot of institutional corporate support. Also, a lot of grassroots support, like, of course, BLM, the official organization that previously said that they wanted to dismantle the family unit, that has gotten an insane amount of money. Where's some of that money going to? Well, it's helping the socialist co-founder of it buy million-dollar houses in areas with, of course, a population of just 1.6% of black people living in it. As she is on a buying spree, recently also buying 4 high-end homes, some even complete with an airplane hangar. And I would have to say, that's not very socialist of her, to say the least. Especially the properties in the Bahamas, lots of properties in Los Angeles. I thought socialists didn't believe in private property. Now, while some governments allow BLM protests and not other protests, I think these latest comments by a British author named Frederick Forsyth are something that people should definitely consider, who came out recently and said what the UK government is doing is, quote, waging a campaign of mass fear against the public using psychological methods to ensure compliance with lockdowns that resemble those used against East Berliners in the 1960s. And I think it is fair to say that there are larger psychological operations out there trying to convince people that it's selfish to have individual liberty, individual freedom, when in reality, as posted in this meme with a fake PewDiePie quote, saying, quote, what's really selfish is expecting other individuals to surrender their liberties so that you can enjoy a false sense of security. A false sense of security that is actually, in my opinion, a lot more dangerous of a situation than the ones that the general public is trying to hide away from. And if you study and understand history, you will understand that people having freedom is rare, and governments acting crazy and hurting people is usually the norm in recorded human history. As of course, many people believe that the government is necessary because people will be left unchecked to do evil things. Meanwhile, the government is composed of people left unchecked doing evil things. Again, if you believe that a select few billionaire corporate banking class of individuals have your best interest at heart, well, you're the actual conspiracy theorist, according to my own personal opinion. If you think I am wrong in any way, shape, or form, let me know down in the description below. I always appreciate your comments. I always appreciate your feedback. And most importantly, there's a lot of things happening on this platform that are absolutely worrying. And again, I choose not to worry. I choose to do my videos as best as I can. And if you thought I did a good job, share this video with your friends, family members. The camera tilted here. Friends, family members, your loved ones, strangers walking down the street. Doesn't matter. You sharing this video essentially helps it get it out there to the general public, to the normies, which we are trying very hard to do. We are still doing that in some ways, in some capacity. That's mainly because of you, and that's why I love you guys. Stay tuned for more. I'm doing another video right now, LukeUncensored.com.